How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Kansas City Royals, ready to get season number 2 started. And guys, I'm pretty happy with how we are looking after the off season. Missed out on the postseason. We were close. We were in it, right? We kept hunting down the Angels a little bit, but at the end of the day, we came up short when it mattered most in August and September. But honestly, our draft class, guys, was really, really good. A lot of solid talent. We'll sort by potential here. You can see, Kevin Garcia was probably the highest potential guy that we acquired, but there's Larry Clement here, Bobby Herman. I think you guys gave me a pronunciation correction in the comments. It's Herman, like Domingo Herman. So he's from Michigan, so maybe it's Herman, maybe it's German. I don't know. Herman, I'll go with though. Bobby Herman looks so good, and he was in trade talks, right? We talked about him. Potentially going to St. Louis for Nolan Gorman. You guys did recommend to not do that. So my plan now is to potentially use Dan Schiff in a potential trade, right? They're both super young at 18, but 174, 168, both have B potential. Herman is going to be here probably next season, and that is fantastic for us. We probably have to give up a couple more prospects. Actually, now I'm just looking at the roster. We probably want to sign another free agent catcher, 6 more free agent relief pitchers. Wow, we've got nobody. Well, nobody's in the AAA right now because it's spring training, but another closing pitcher, 6 more relief pitchers, and a catcher. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I'll get through spring training, and then I think we'll make the trade on the first day of the season, potentially. Right now, I'm throwing, the trade out there. I believe it was, I don't know if it was us or the Cardinals. For some reason, they said that our injury situation is preventing us from making this trade, right? So we'll go down here to Dan Schiff. Our injury situation is forcing us to hold off on making a deal. So even if I try to offer it, neither of these guys are injured from what I could tell. I went to the St. Louis Cardinals injured list. He's not there. Something tells me it's due to being right at the very beginning of spring training and the fact that I don't have enough players on the roster. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done via free agency, sign some minor leaguers. Whit Merrifield's actually still available. 36. I mean, a pretty solid bat. I mean, that's not a bad player to still be out there at 36, but I'm not going for instant contributors, right? I just need to fill out the depth in the org. So I'm going to go get that done. We'll get to the start of the regular season, hopefully make that trade. And we're going to actually do the draft in today's episode, guys. I know last season I didn't get up to the draft. I got a better handle on it now. Feel good about what we need. I mean, let's take a look. Trade talks. Can we take a look at our depth, our scouting? Is that like I'll probably take a look at that later. But as far as depth, I still feel like probably a second baseman unless we get Gorman. Definitely some outfielders. Starting pitching is always a nice to have, but I think third base, we don't really have anybody waiting in the wings for third base. There we go. We do need a couple more third basemen too, so I'll probably sign some of those. We only have 3. We've got plenty of space in the system to find some third basemen that can play in AA and AAA, pay them a couple $100,000. We've got the budget to do it. I feel good about where we're at, guys. Scouting, we'll figure out what we need, and then let's hope for a good season. All right, guys, so it was due to the fact that I didn't have enough players on the roster. I would have been under probably the required amount per position. And I got a trade that it's going to work, right? I love the fact that before you even hit offer trade in MLB The Show that it's going to work. Maybe it's not realistic for some of you. I just enjoy it. As a content creator, it makes it easier for me to not sit here for 5 minutes trying to get the bar to go right or Chell, you never know, right? But with this trade, I do have a justification for it, and they don't have starting pitchers. They straight up don't have starting pitchers, like, worth anything in their entire system, right? A lot of young starting pitchers, but, I mean, you got Dan Schiff here, who's going to be B68. He's instantly going to be one of their best prospects at just 18, right? They got Tink Hentz here. It's a fantastic name, but Vladimir Ramirez and another guy, they just need something in the way of potential when it comes to pitchers. So that's why I'm going to give them also Leonardo Cordova as well, 62B. I know, listen, guys, we're gutting our own pitching rotation just a little bit, I guess pitching depth. But we got Bobby Herman, who, we have him. We should be fine for a little while. Kevin Garcia and Larry Clement as well, two guys that also have that potential. Would this trade go through with neither of those guys? So we are giving up some decent pitching prospects here, but we're getting a guy like Nolan Gorman here, 82, 24 A potential with massive power, right? We need power. 24 years old too. Signed for 2.2, arbitration eligible for 3, right? We're getting a really good player. We've got to give something up, and we're going to give 2 quality prospect pitchers here. And then I looked at the outfield for the Cardinals. Their left fielder is Connor Joe. Center fielder is Duval, and then Mauricio Dubon. And then they do have Lars Nootbaar and George Springer. They did just make that trade for Springer, but again, their outfield could probably use a bit of an upgrade in the way of depth. And Drew Waters, I feel like, is that depth for them. Kyle Isbell and Drew Waters are basically the same player to me. I know Waters is a little bit younger, but he's got that lower potential. He's probably ready to be replaced by Gavin Cross, and I do want MJ Melendez to be in the majors, I think. Nelson Velasquez could easily be in the majors, too. They didn't want Velasquez. I think the trade would be fine, yeah. That was just slightly too little. Wow, they don't want Renfroe. They really like Drew Waters, apparently. So, honestly, I feel like this trade, they get another good outfielder, which I think they're in need of. And then they get 2 really good prospect pitchers. I don't know. Let's take a look. I know this trade Schiff, Cordova, and Waters. Let's take a look at our prospect. Per organization. You can see Schiff and Cordova are our 5 and 6. So that's honestly not too bad to give up. It's certainly a lot, right? 2 top 10 prospects from the organization, but Nolan Gorman obviously is worth it. And then if you take a look, let's go to the Cardinals here. They do have a bunch of starting pitchers at the top here, but I think they need to just, I don't think these guys are really all that great. I don't think they're really all that great. Yeah, a bunch of C's and just their pitchers, yes, are at the top of their prospect list, but I just don't feel like it's enough for them. I think they're going to need more. So, and besides, we're trading away good players. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself some good players from them. So we are going to go through with the Dan Schiff and Leonardo Cordova. There we go. As well as throwing in Drew Waters. Definitely interested in making that deal. I'm very, very happy to get a 24-year-old A potential, 82 overall. Confirm the trade. Beautiful. There we go. We have a brand new second baseman. Now it is Nolan Gorman, Brandon Drury. I mean, man, both of these guys are really, really good. Maybe one of them plays third base. Gorman can play third. Drury can play first, third, second, or the corners of the outfield. Could also be a DH. I feel like we got a lot of options now for ourselves. I'm really happy with this. You can see Nolan Gorman, 97 power against righties, 80 power against lefties. Good discipline, good clutch, solid durability. Last season only batted .237, OPS of 766, but I think he's going to get better. He had a WAR of 2.9, and runs created of 75. Yeah, he's only 24, and when we talk about building a team around Bobby Witt, that's exactly the kind of age that we need to be targeting, is that kind of player there. We do only have 19 pitchers in the organization now, so maybe I'll go ahead and sign 2 more just to fill out the AA. But you guys can see there's 2 of our top players, 24 years old. Middle of the infield is pretty much set for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and get us to the start of the regular season. Get you guys familiar with the 26-man opening day roster and fill out the AA, but you guys don't have to worry about that. Let's get started. Let's see how our scouting can go, and let's get to the draft. One thing to keep in mind, guys, is Nolan Gorman is an expiring contract. I was going to start off the video by saying really nobody important is an expiring contract. You can see we've got a good amount of players that, you know, will be quality for us this year and provide good depth, but no cornerstone players are expiring. I would say now that Nolan Gorman would look like a cornerstone player. Obviously, we have to wait and see how he produces this year. He's probably going to get more expensive, but you can see if we go for 10 years, it's $14 million a year, which is quite a bit. But, I mean, that would lock him and Bobby Witt up for a long time. Middle of the infield, 2 good bats, 2 good players. We'll see how Nolan Gorman does. I'm not ready to give him an extension before the season, before he's even here, but maybe something to look at after the draft, after the 4th of July All-Star game. We'll see how he does for us. He might get more expensive, might come back to bite me, but I just want to see, should I be giving him a 5-year deal? Should I be giving him a 10-year deal? Right? I mean, we could give him a 7-year deal. He'd be 31, and he wants $12 million a year. Could backload the contract. That would kind of get painful towards the end of his tenure. You know, but if we just quickly go to backload, we get much more payroll back this year, 2.3 million. And I'm not even all the way up to the right number yet. So you can see the number slowly growing. If I backload it, you can see that we actually keep getting more payroll as we backload it here. I would love to give him a 7-year deal. It's just one of those, I want to make sure he's worth it. We got him for an ARB. He's got excellent quirks. I'm excited for it, guys. I'm excited for the season. So let's get some simulation done. And you know, I'll catch up with you guys after the first 3 weeks, about a month. And then I'll show you what I'm looking at as far as who's doing well, who's not, and, you know, and potential prospects that I'm excited for. So let's get to the opening day roster and get started. All right, so the 26-man opening day roster is set. Let's take a look at the starting pitchers. You got Walker Buehler, Trevor Rogers, and John Means as are the big three for us. Brady Singer there as well. Hopefully he grows a little bit. Cole Ragans and Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo is now going to move back into the pen as the long reliever. Last season, you know, he had 33 starts. He did have 23 quality starts. But at this point in his career, I do worry about his ability to just continue to start for us. And I feel like he's better off in the bullpen. We've got Cole Ragans, too, who's got, you know, they all have pretty good stamina, right? I'm not really worried about anybody losing out like that. But just as Seth Lugo starts to age and decline a little bit, I think having him as the long reliever is going to save his arm a bit more at this stage in his career. Then, as far as relief pitchers, we've got Barlow, Sandlin, Schreiber, and then Anderson, Stratton, and Hernandez. Again, really good bullpen, in my opinion. Mid to upper 70s, I find to be quality bullpen arms for us. And then closing pitcher is Jose Leclerc. So we actually have ourselves a legitimate closer now, which is nice, considering last year it was John Schreiber. He did well, but I'm excited to see what he can do in a setup role or maybe a mid-reliever. We'll see what the manager decides to do. At catcher, we got Freddie Fermin and Salvador Perez. Same thing as last season there. Vinny Pasquantino at first. Same thing there. Second is really where we see the biggest turnover with Nolan Gorman. Brandon Drury is probably going to DH a bit. Gorman could DH as well. Either way, both of those guys are quality additions. And then Adam Frazier does make the roster. We saw last season he batted .289, .809 OPS, runs creative about 75. So again, a really, really good player here and allows Massey to play every day down there in AAA, which is kind of what I wanted to do by keeping Frazier up. Again, he can play anywhere in the outfield, third or short, so he's really, really good depth for us there. Love that. Michael Garcia gets the third base nod. The only true third baseman, I should say, on the roster. Obviously, Gorman and Drury can both play third, so they may slide over there when one of them's not DHing. But against lefties, Michael Garcia's got good clutch, really good fielder too, so he can probably contribute right now. Hoping that he does develop a bit more, too. Then at short, you guys know it's Bobby Witt. Garrett Hampson backs him up. Last year's surprise, 563 at-bats, batted .290. Didn't hit for too much power, but 82 runs created. I will take that from a guy I had zero intentions of re-signing. He forced his way into a contract from me. Out in the outfield, we got O'Neill and Verdugo. Kyle Isbell is technically still our center fielder, although I would like to see him maybe make way for a guy like O'Neill or Verdugo, whoever they want to put at center. I think it'd probably be Verdugo just because he's got that slightly better fielding and slightly better arm. And then in right, same thing as last year, is Hunter Renfroe. So we are only rocking with 4 outfielders, but we do have enough players that can play infield or can play outfield. So I'm happy with this. MJ Melendez down to AA. Had to make that call. You know, just I think he's going to grow better in AA, you know, hitting in AA rather than, you know, batting .216 in the majors here. So give him one more year to develop down there in AA. Call him up then when Hunter Renfroe's contract expires. Give him major league minutes and hopefully major league at bats, I should say, not minutes. That's the hockey me and coming out. But hopefully, you know, we've got a good succession plan there in the outfield. I'm really happy with how we're looking as a team, right? Okay. And our budget's fine. You can see we are pretty much committed for the same amount of dollars year over year. Actually, I should say we're not, but as far as players expiring next season, just sorting by overall, Gorman's in arbitration. We know we want to see how he plays for half a season. Brandon Drury, again, we signed him as a 1-year stopgap. Nolan Gorman became available and we went after him. So, I mean, I think we're fine there. And then Ragans and Renfroe. I mean, guys, we really are set up to have this core for quite a while here. Jose Leclerc, you know, our second best player, is signed for a while, right? $6.5 million for a quality closer. I'll take that. Beat potential 31, so hopefully should hang on to that for a while. We got a good amount of surplus too if we need to make a midseason move. I should say available budget, not surplus. We got 1.1 million. So this is the team we're rocking with. Seth Lugo could be a cap casualty, a budget casualty. 15 million for the next 2 seasons. Same thing with Salvador Perez. It is starting now to bite us. Maybe something to look for in the offseason is move on from these 2 guys. Salvador Perez, I'm hoping retires because I want him to retire a Royal. He's about to get to 1,500 career games played with Kansas City. I would hate to see him, not retire a Royal, play 1 season in I don't know, Seattle or something, right? It would just feel weird. So hopefully he does retire with all those awards. And yeah, I'm happy with the budget. I'm happy where the team's at. Now, we're in the regular season. We can get things rolling, guys. I'm pumped about their scouts are going to be good to see where we are as far as what we need as prospects. Center field is huge. To get a bona fide #1 center fielder would be awesome. So that's probably where I'm going to spend some time early here. But yeah, I think set my trade block. I don't want to get anybody. I think center field, I would absolutely take an upgrade. Third base, I would as well. And then maybe I would say right fielders to replace Renfroe. I think I would, let me throw in, I could always upgrade over Furman. And you can never have too many starting pitchers. There we go. All right. Those are the positions we're seeking. Let's get the simulation started. All right, so we are here at the end of the first month. We're at the end of April. We are doing quite well, and we're in a battle with Minnesota here. You guys can see we just beat them in a series, and we are now up by half a game. Half a game. I was gonna say if my math is right. 7-3 in our last 10, and 21-10 overall, guys. I mean, we're ranked as the 12th best team in the league, 10th in contact, 6th in defense, 13th in pitching. I mean, those are big ones. Power and speed are really where we need to improve. I'm not worried about speed. I'd like to get the power number up there, but man, things are going well for us. Runs scored 171, runs against 102. So our pitching staff is doing very, very well. 338 as a team. I mean, for the 13th best pitching staff in the league, I'd say that's pretty darn good. 281 batting average as well. So you can see our slugging may be slightly below what the Twins have. It's the second best in the division, though. And don't forget, the Twins just won the ALCS and made it to the World Series last season. So looking at the wild card, I mean, the Dodgers, that's the NL wild card. Let's take a look at the AL wild card. Yeah, the Twins are the best team there. But then if we do end up, kind of getting cold for a week or something just because our young players, don't keep hitting like they are, right? It's 18, 19 wins. 16 is where the Blue Jays are. So, I mean, I'd feel comfortable where we are right now, considering our runs scored and runs against. I mean, that's a really, really good run differential. I mean, 21 wins is the best in the AL. That is the best in the AL. Is that the best in the league? 21 wins is the best in the league. Oh my, wow. Okay. We're doing way better than I thought. I was like, okay, we're in a battle with Minnesota. It's cool, but man, struggling to Double-A, Rivertown. Nelson Velasquez had an outstanding month. Bobby Herman posted a 3.55 with 35 strikeouts in 33 innings. That is beautiful. And then Austin Cox is doing well as well. So look at all the fire, baby. We are literally on fire, except for John Means. It's okay. Just go stand next to some of these other guys, John. You're going to heat up real quick because the entire team is killing it right now. Herman, love to see him hot as well. 3-0, 33 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, 3.55 ERA, 103 whip. So that is beautiful. Let's take a look at the statistics after the first month. Who is leading the way? Home runs. Alex Verdugo with 8 homers, man. He's got 53 power against righties and 39 power against lefties. No idea how he's leading the team. That's going to cool down. Vinny Pasquantino, though, continues to pick up. I know last year he broke his arm. This season, not hitting as much for average. Slugging either. So he's not quite hit the highs of last season just yet. But honestly, he is playing so well. Bobby Witt Jr. is doing Bobby Witt Jr. 323, guys. Nolan Gorman batting 239, OPS of 781, 5 home runs. I mean, listen, he is growing, right? We see that, but it's still more of the same as what we saw last season from him. We need to see a little bit more before I'm like, okay, I'm going to back the truck up. the Brinks truck and just give him all the money. I'd like to see him produce a little bit better. Salvador Perez is cold. Why is he getting more at-bats than Freddie Furman? I'll never know. Because he's got slightly more power? Maybe? I mean, Freddie Furman is just, he's getting shafted. Absolutely shafted right now. Batting average, though, Doogie with 328. I do expect him to hit for average. Bobby Witt, Garrett Hampson in his 20 at-bats. Tyler O'Neill's batting 308. Brandon... I love to see the fact that 3 of our top 4 guys who've gotten any at-bats are free agents that I signed. That makes me feel really good that I hit on the free agents, that they making an impact early. Adam Frazier, we brought him back. Maikel Garcia's 39 at-bats is grown up to a 77 overall with that +1 to power against righties. At just 25, you know, I love it. He's going to continue to grow. Love to see that double green arrow. Beautiful. OPS, Tyler O'Neill is crushing it, right? His stats look average, but he's just, oh my God, he's ridiculous right now. Now, I don't think this is all going to keep it up, so I am a little wary of that. Let's take a look at WAR. Is anybody negative? Renfro's -0.4. Okay, so Hunter Renfroe, somebody I expected to just come in, do his job, clock out, right? Not what I like to see there. Runs created, 26 for Doogie, 25 for Bobby Witt. These guys are probably going to be close to 100 runs created. Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, would love to see him do a little bit better considering both him and Brandon Drury are getting over 100 at-bats. Nobody has more than 130 like Bobby Witt. So something to consider there that he is getting plenty of time. Take a look at the pitching staff, though. Starting pitchers first and foremost, Brady Singer, a potential Brady Singer, by the way, doing very, very well. Trevor Rogers, not doing very, very well. You guys warned me about this, that he could potentially put up poor numbers. He's had 7 starts. Only 3 of those are quality. His whip is better. His ERA is worse than last year. And last year, remember, was the terrible year when we traded for him. He still has a positive WAR. FIP of a 2.8, though. FIP of a 2.8. All right. I think it's going to average out. Really good strikeout number, really good walk number. I think, you know, it's only 30 innings pitched. A lot can change, right? I'm not too worried about that. John Means, not really that great either. But Seth Lugo's pitching well out of the pen. And then Bueller, Raggins, and Singer are really doing well for us. Walker Bueller looking great there. Is dropping in overall. Not what you love to see. But the quality starts. Brady Singer's gotten 6 of 6. 4 of 6 for Raggins. 5 of 6 for Bueller. 3 of 7 for Rogers, 3 of 7 for Means. I still believe in them. I still think that they can, improve. The negatives are for Means. So Means maybe isn't. Yeah, 5.56 ERC and a 5.37 FIP. I mean, Rogers, I feel like, is the one getting unlucky right now. Obviously, I'd like to see his ERC come down a bit. Brady Singer, I think right now is just getting the benefit of really good fielding, and Rogers is, kind of unlucky. So Scott Barlow is pitching the most innings out of the pen here, and that's a good thing because he's got 1.90 ERA, sub-1 whip. Love to see that. WAR of 0.7 already as a reliever. 1.21 ERC, guys. The only one who's not really lived up to his name is Nick Anderson. I think we brought him back. He was here last season. He pitched well enough. Not having a great start, but again, he has pitched the second most innings, which is 10. We're probably reading too much into this right now, so we're going to leave that be. Actually, I do want to see, I'm not going to read too much into it, but closing pitcher Jose Leclerc, 9 saves in 10.2 innings pitched. How many blown saves? 1 blown save, so I'll take it. I'll absolutely take that out of my closer here. Pitching very, very well with a 1.69 ERA too. So love to see one blown save and 9 saves. It's 90%. Love it. Team's doing well. Can't complain about anything, guys. Scouting, I am looking at center fielders and I'm looking at third baseman right now. I'll switch to pitchers probably some way through May. We're only like 4 weeks into our scouting, so we still got plenty of time, plenty to uncover about plenty of prospects. I'm hoping to get some hitters, though, this time, some position players to really, really round out our core. But again, some of these guys, we may never use them. Herman, love to use them. Schiff and Cordova, right? They were moved on for Nolan Gorman. So honestly, guys, we can take a look here. 1-1 there. We are still ahead of Minnesota by half a game. That is crazy. The Twins series are going to go go wild here towards the end of today's episode. So let's go ahead and take a look at the scouting, though. You know, I'm scouting some right fielders, some center fielders, some third basemen, right? We'll view the prospect list of just all recently scouted, right? You can see we're only getting a little bit about each prospect every week, but we're starting to be able to whittle down who's good, who's not, right? The right fielder's the center fielder here. Yeah, nobody's jumping out to me as a surefire must pick. Obviously, David Muriel, we have him ranked 8th. Yeah, nobody's exceeding, I don't think. Okay, so Alberto Ferreira is exceeding his MLB draft rank. But, we do have 2 seconds, which is actually kind of cool to see. But a 17th overall, you know, nobody's jumping out to me as a must draft. So some right fielders still up here. Obviously, starting pitchers are going to be all over the place. Second baseman in Miguel Quiroz. We rank him 16th. The MLB ranks him 22nd. So could be something to look at. Just give him a look. But you know, I think I might keep going with the right fielders. I'll take care of the scouting, guys, but after the first month, I could not be any happier. So we have successfully made it another month atop the AL Central. Our rank has actually gone up a bit. The pitching up to 11th. Good to see that. Defense, really, really good. Contact, you know, still about where it was. I think speed dropped, but I'm kind of curious what's going on right now. Transactions completed. The Red Sox have called up Lucas Giolito. Mariners have called up Jose Urquidy. And the Blue Jays have called up Alek Manoah. So he is back. But here we go. Let's see. Do we have any updates? MJ Melendez swung a hot bat in May. 346, 14 runs over 107 at-bats. Love to see that. Michael Massey raked in May, posting 348 and 89 at-bats. 16 RBIs. Caderna, yes, sir. I'll take that. And then John McMillan. So, Bobby Witt and Nolan Gorman are both cold. Bobby Witt's now a 97. Nolan Gorman up to an 83. But I'm not impressed too much per se with his batting stats. They're better than they were last year. And 8. But actually, let me pause. He's one point batting average better per season. We'll take that. But his OPS at 819 is actually really good. Slugging not quite as well. But he's still got 12 home runs and 210 at-bats. So probably on pace to be a 25 home run guy, hoping to see him hit 75 RBIs as well. His WAR is 1.3 and runs created of 34, so probably should be another 75 run created guy there. Jose Leclerc, it's doing great. Trevor Rogers is now hot and he's growing. I'm glad his fielding's growing. But it's nice to see his Ks per 9, walks per 9, clutch and control both growing as well. ERA, look at that, back down in the 3.78. So it was a little early to be looking into all these stats. Brandon Drury, yeah, I was gonna say, I think he's dropping off. Freddie Furman has grown to an 80. Oh no, Tyler O'Neill is on the IL. He pulled his hamstring. He's out for 1 to 6 more days. Brady Singer now is up to an 80. He is 8-1 this season, dude. He's getting all the decisions. Vinny's up to an 80. Yeah, so there it is. Some of our players are growing pretty nicely. Raggins is hot. Means is down to a 78. Don't love that considering he's here for 2 more years at $9 million, but he's still pitching well. Michael Garcia's up to a 78. Wow, okay, so he's gone up 2 overall points since the start of the season. Power is doing better. Yeah, he is growing pretty nicely. Verdugo is growing as well. Bobby Herman, 75. He's grown a little bit as well. Kyle Isbell is cold, so I guess he's getting some at-bats because O'Neill is injured, but Brooks Lee, the shortstop we traded for, is now up to a 73, is growing, really, really nicely in the contact, right? Definitely somebody I'd like to keep an eye on there in AAA, batting 242. Speaking of growing and somebody we keep an eye on, MJ Melendez up to a 71. So, we just got to see him put the points into the right attributes, and then we can maybe potentially call him up. Lyle Cortez should be in the AA, man, as a right fielder. Yeah. Why he's not, I don't know. Gavin Cross is. Caderna. Yeah, Ben Caderna here, 22-year-old starting pitcher. Nick Prado, unfortunately, is on the IL. But honestly, guys, things are going very, very well. It's fantastic. Yep, so Tyler O'Neill should be ready to come off very, very soon with that pulled hamstring. But yeah, I can't really complain about where we're sitting. We aren't scoring a tremendous amount of runs. We're not hitting as well as a team like the Twins are, but our ERA is, as a team, 3.18. Where do we rank as far as team ERA? Because That's huge. Our batting, okay, so it's really, we are beating a twin killer. We are going for really strong pitching and adequate batting, where they have really strong batting and adequate pitching. So where do we rank here in batting average? It can't be, I was gonna say, it can't be this low. We're 8th in the league. So we're still a top 10 team as far as batting average. As far as, let's see, home runs, are we at the bottom as far as power? No, the Brewers are. I mean, our home run numbers are fine. We are tied for 7th with 81 there. RBIs, stolen bases, we're going to be probably near the bottom of this. Okay, I guess we're just sending them. No, it's 18th, so it's not that good. Caught stealing, are we caught stealing quite a bit? No. Okay, so we're an average base running team, but let's take a look at ERA, errors, fielding percentage, ERA. We are 2nd behind the Dodgers, but they got Shohei, Fried, Glasnow. We're doing it with Reagan, Singer, and Means, baby. So, oh my God, look at the overall difference between us and some of the teams around us. I mean, even Houston, 210, 257, and 341. That is crazy. Dustin May for the Cardinals has 168, so he is carrying, pulling his weight. He's carrying there in St. Louis, but I really feel like our whole team is hovering right around the same ERA number, but 284 and 295 for Raggins and Singer. I'm glad I brought Raggins back. Complete games, the Twins actually have the most. Where are the Twins as far as team ERA? I was kind of hoping they'd be more towards the bottom here. They are 8th, so again, pretty similar there. It looks like the crown emoji, the crown icon, I think is because I'm actually not sure. Either way, I think it's because he's leading the MLB in a stat. But the most saves! All right, Jose Leclerc has got the most saves, so we aren't winning big. So it's giving Leclerc a lot of opportunities, and he's come through in every opportunity. I shouldn't say every opportunity, but a ton of opportunities he's come through, and only 1 blown save for him. We have 5 as a team, but he only has 1. Not sure who else has got him, because I guess they only show your closing pitcher and then random pitchers. But he has, what was that? Was that still 1 blown save from early in the season? He's doing well, man. Fewest runs allowed, fewest earned runs allowed, 3rd fewest home runs allowed, 5th fewest walks. So, man, it is tough to get on base against us. Now, a lot of that might be our defense, because we don't seem to be striking. Yeah, we don't strike out teams a ton. That is, okay, this is super interesting, but I got to keep things rolling here, guys. We are ready to go here at the start of June. Scouting, we still have 5 weeks until the draft. I'm starting pitchers now. I'm starting to shift over there. There's some pretty good ones in this class. I'm hoping to find some position players worth something for us, but you know what? I think we're good to keep it rolling here. I'm going to set up the scouting. We got 5 weeks until the draft. We'll get to the draft, guys. Don't you worry a thing. And we will get the next generation of superstars for the Kansas City Royals. A big second base trade. A huge piece here for the Mets from the Rockies. They're going to acquire Edouard Julien for Luis Angel Acuna, who's 23 and 72, and Dalton Rankin, who's 22 and 70. So, couple prospects go to Colorado, and the Mets are going to get Julien 87 at 25. Really, honestly, looks really good. So, great trade. And we have just 6 days to the draft, which is why I'm bringing you guys back in now as we sit 3.5 games atop the AL Central. Batting average still doing all right. ERA got a little worse technically, but it's still crazy, guys. I'll absolutely take that. Transactions. Yep, we can see the completed. The Diamondbacks have called up Ryan Nelson. Okay. Okay. If we're just going to hear about Alek Manoah's journey up and down, then I'm not worried about it. But here we go. Struggling player. Okay. Nope. None of these guys. Daniel Lynch. Not worried about him. Jordan Adams. Not really worried. Will Klein. And okay. So nobody that is too exciting for us is doing well. Bobby Witt Jr. back down to a 96. Nolan Gorman back down to an 82. Trevor Rogers up to an 82 though. ERA of 3.87, so I'll take that, and he continues to get better. Very happy. Whew. I was kind of worried about that one for a little while, not gonna lie. Singer continues to be dominant, now not quite as much as he was earlier in the season, but still doing well. John Means looks great. 3.60 ERA, stabilizing at 79, so he's moving up and down a little bit there. Herman, 18.75, still growing. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the IL okay, it's nobody that is making Salvador Perez was on it, but by the time you guys came here, he's back off of it. So take a look at the statistics. It's not going to change too much between now and the draft, which is where we're going to call it for this one. So let's take a look. Home runs, we've got 16 for Bobby Witt, 16 for Brandon Drury, 15 for Doogie, so he's hit 7 since the first month. Nolan Gorman with 13, batting .225, OPS of 738. This is why I'm glad I didn't give him a 10-year contract, because, guys, this doesn't look good for him. I mean, he's still producing well enough, and 43 runs created is fine, but again, I would have expected more from him. Now, I'm going to give him time. He's 24. I mean, he's got 6 more years of just being good. Would like to see him grow a bit more, not stagnate at 82. Vinny Pasquantino doing quite well there. Salvador Perez is just batting horribly. He probably should hopefully retire at the end of this season. Freddie Fermin should be our everyday catcher, which I think he might be now. Even against righties, I don't know if they've made that actual switch. Let's just sort by average. Garrett Hampson continues to bat well. Michael Garcia, in his limited action, is batting much better and is growing, so you'll love to see that. But Drury is the best hitter on the team. Tyler O'Neill was injured for a little while, also hitting well. Freddie Fermin, Bobby Witt, Adam Frazier, Vinny Pasquantino. So a lot of similar names. OPS now, yeah, everybody we're used to seeing. Let's see who's potentially a net negative to the team. So the positive WAR is Bobby Witt with 3.9. We know he's a megastar. Drury, though, 2.8. Love to see that from a free agent. Everybody else is doing all right. Negative WAR, Salvador Perez, but it's not even that bad. Runs created, 59 for Bobby Witt, 52 for Drury, 49 for Doogie, 46 for Pasquantino. So I'm very, very pleased there. Taking a look at ERA, Cole Raggins now has the worst ERA on the team. Seth Lugo with the best. Brady Singer, Bueller, Means, and Rogers, all with sub-4 ERAs in that mid to low 3s. Brady Singer doing great. And at 8 potential, 28, to have him have this kind of season, we brought him back. Obviously, he pitched well last year. 14 quality starts in 18 starts is something that I just love to see. Whip, everybody's a little higher than I'd like to be. 1.25 is about where I'm at. Walker Bueller doing great there. John Means all right, and then Trevor Rogers a little high, but again, I think he's going to continue to do okay for us. WAR, obviously, Walker Bueller has pitched the most innings, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Obviously, John Means had that rough start, has really bounced back, which is nice to see. Don't really have a strikeout pitcher. Take a look. I mean, nobody I signed has good Ks per 9, so that's interesting to see. Maybe something to look for in the offseason, maybe at the trade deadline, is a strikeout starting pitcher. ERC, Walker Bueller's pitching the best. FIP, Seth Lugo, it's not doing good. Everybody else, though, doing all right. I'd like to see Trevor Rogers pitch a little bit better, but ultimately I'm not upset with that at all. Let's take a look at the relief pitchers here next. Sorted by innings pitched, Carlos Hernandez has pitched the least, which is probably good considering I think he is the worst starting relief pitcher we have. He's actually not. He's grown nicely, but the bullpen, guys, is great. Other than John Schreiber and Carlos Hernandez, and Hernandez pitched 10 innings, 24 for Schreiber, but 37, 37, 28, and 20. All these guys with mid-2s. Yeah, love to see it. The whip doing great. For most of our players as well. WAR, only negative is Schreiber, who was technically an all-star last year for us, so that's a bit of a bummer. The strikeouts, they're more so here, but we don't really strike out many batters. We're not really good at striking out teams, but guys, our bullpen looks great. And then Jose Leclerc, 1.65 ERA. He does have 29 saves in 32.2 innings. 29 saves, still only the one blown save. He's just pitching so well. Absolutely worth $6.5 million, and hopefully for the rest of his career will pitch like this. That would be insane if he did. I'd be very happy. But as far as scouting, I'm looking at some catchers, looking at some outfielders, just trying to get a bit of information about everybody. I mean, Julio Villalobos might be our first overall pick. I mean, we've got the pick 17. He's a righty, 77 to 96 potential, 58 to 77 currently on the rating, and it looks so well-rounded. There's also Jarrett Castilla, who we have ranked 10th. I mean, these guys are both very good. We got a lefty or a righty, so we can pick whoever we want. There's also Phil Zarate here with ridiculously high potential as a catcher. Little bit older, though, at 21, and 57 to 67. Could be a really good catcher. I don't know about it, though. The 87 to 97 potential is crazy, though, at 100% scouted. So We're getting really good information about a lot of these guys. We're sorting out who we could potentially take. There's Jeff Tanaka here. Lower overall, but still a crazy high potential. Catcher out of Japan, does not have a secondary position, so that limits him a little bit. But again, we'll see here. We're just gonna keep going with it. Actually, I don't think I need to keep scouting catchers. Catchers recently scouted. Yeah, I think we're probably fine with all of these guys, but we have 1 week left. Maybe I just view the prospect list and scout somebody that we haven't scouted that's supposed to be around our pick, not recently scouted, but all that aren't, like a Daryl Eichinger, maybe could have 99 potential, which would be crazy. We have him ranked 7th, but let's go ahead and get somebody maybe below our pick. Relief pitcher, catcher Thomas Kelly here. Second baseman Miguel Quiroz. We're gonna go ahead and scout him. We get 50% scouted. That'll be good enough for me, 55%, as well as continuing to scout the international starting pitchers. And there we go. We have now finished up our scouting assignments. Let's go ahead and get to the draft. We have defeated the Twins, and we lose the series to the Twins. What does that mean for us? We have defeated the Padres 11-10. It's the All-Star Futures game. All right, so we're still 2.5 up on them. San Diego is... Okay, so now it's time for the draft. We lose to San Diego the day before the draft. But let's just go with recommended. Can we just see scouted? There we go. I'm just going to add all these guys to our draft queue just because, if I slip up again, I don't want to miss out on any of the players that we've scouted. Again, it's so tough to... I don't really like this interface. I miss the vertical list. I do like seeing their faces and the players themselves, like who they are. But, it's just so tough to see. I wish I could sort by potential range. I wish I could sort by, a secondary position, like other things like that. I kind of like they're trying something new with the UI, but not my favorite. But here we go. Time to get the draft started, and I believe it was Oakland who won the lottery. It is. So let's go ahead and start the draft, see who Oakland is going to take. It is, drumroll please, Harrison Alonso, MLB rank 1. We have him ranked 2nd, 82-98, 61-77, 21-year-old. So could be good right off the rip. Good outfielder there for the Oakland Athletics. Next up in the draft at number 2 to the Rockies goes Daryl Eichinger, the starting pitcher, potentially 99 overall, or potential 99 is the top of the range, 54-70. I mean, that's good. That's good. I don't know enough about him. I wouldn't feel comfortable making that pick, but I'm not picking it up in the top of the draft. So, and I don't think we will ever again for the rest of the series. So, Wesley Baxter though then goes 3rd to the Washington Nationals. We had him ranked 13th. The MLB had him ranked 6th. Still, 3rd is pretty high. So their scouts must be higher on him than our scouts. So you guys can see we are there at 17. All right, so Julio Villalobos is on the board still. He may very well still be the pick. We say Eduardo Ramirez, but Julio Villalobos, 60-76. We have him ranked as the 4th best prospect. They have him ranked 40th in the draft. I don't know, guys. I think I might go for it. I know there's Jarrett Castilla here, who is a year younger, shares the same overall potential, or shares the same potential range. The overall potential is a little bit lower. He is a year younger. I'm going to go with Julio Villalobos here. I really think so. There's the catcher here in Jeff Tanaka. And I don't know enough about Donnie Montenegro from Canada. Great name. Love the fact that he's basically a Joey Votto regen, but I just don't know about it, guys. We got picks 55 and 73 is where I think the sweet spot is going to be for fielders for us. I really think that we could get ourselves another stud pitcher here. We did just trade some of them away, right? Dan Schiff, Leonardo Cordova. So Julio Villalobos, I think, is the guy that we're going to take here, guys. Coming out of high school, 19 years old, from Mexico, only wants 2.2. We have him pretty much fully scouted. Looks really good. What is his pitch breakdown? 4-seam, curveball, changeup, 2-seamer. Like the speed on all of them. Very good diversity there. I'm happy with this. Julio Villalobos. Welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Oh, God, I'm nervous about this pick, guys. Julio Villalobos. Welcome. All right, I did it. We made the pick. I still get nervous about all these picks, guys, I swear. Sim to the Royals, next pick. Here we are at 55. Jeff Tanaka is still on the board. We have him ranked 12th. Japan, lefty catcher. Looks to be a really, really good fielder. Not the best batter. He's actually a terrible, terrible batter from what we have scouted. There's also Andres Domingo here. Looks to be a good fielder. Actually, a really good contact hitter as well, if that is to be believed there. Our scouts' assessment of him. Let's just go with scouted. Tanaka, though, I mean, he could be really, really good. He's not a catcher that's ever going to really hit for much. Oh, man. I do want hitters, right? That's what I'm looking for. Andres Domingo can play anywhere in the outfield. Doesn't have much pop, but does have good contact and is a really strong fielder with great speed. He looks like he's got great speed. We have him ranked 29th. I think I'm going to take Tanaka now because we're at our pick 55. Then at 73, see who's still there. I mean, there's also guys like Bennett Curran if we want to go back to the well at starting pitcher, but I do think we need to start taking some potential fielders, and I think Tanaka, if we have him ranked 12th, and he's honestly 12th, the doctor exam is healthy, there's nothing to concern about there. It's the hitting that I worry about, but he's already a stud catcher. If the fielding can be there, or if the hitting can grow, I think as a fielder, he's got a strong floor. We're going to draft Jeff Tanaka from Japan, the catcher. 77% scouted, so obviously things could change. The overall range gets narrower, and so is the potential range, but the potential range is hanging up high there. You love to see it. All right. And then we are going to get our next pick in the competitive balance round B. We do have the last pick of this round. Carlos Rosado and Tino Peralta, two guys I pinned. I don't know if that we're going to read into that too much. Did anybody that we were looking at go? Kazuhito Yokoyama. Looks actually pretty good. Who went after us? I was looking at Andres Domingo did go to the Baltimore Orioles, so I'm going to try and keep that in mind, the Baltimore Orioles to look at after this. We have Carlos Rosado ranked as the 33rd best prospect, another pitcher here. Center fielder Tino Peralta opted out of his doctor's exam, so that's not what I love to see. As far as players we have scouted, 70 here for Amori Armas. I mean, 73 to 98 potential left-handed batting third baseman. Looks to have a decent bat, looks like a decent future, but nothing crazy. Tino Peralta, great speed, solid hitter, good fielder. I think I'm going to go with Tino Peralta. It's a bit of a swing, but I'm going to go for it. We have him ranked 42nd. I don't want to take another pitcher. We have quite a few of those, and I feel like there's some depth in the starting pitching ranks as well. You know, we've got Bennett Curran here, who's not even ranked by the MLB. We have him ranked 63rd, so I think I am going to go Tino Peralta here. Get ourselves an outfield prospect. I don't feel as comfortable about this draft as I have in the past. Carlos Rosado is still on the board, and Forrest Dickinson as well, but we're going to go with Carlos Rosado. We have him ranked 33rd, pretty well scouted at 65% there. Bennett Curran could still even be there, but we'll go back to the well at pitcher here. With our fourth pick of the draft, we've gotten a catcher, an outfielder, and two starting pitchers. I'm fine with that. Carlos Rosado, welcome to the Kansas City Royals. All right. Our next pick here is at 122. We have this pick and two more. Forrest Frederickson. I don't know. Did I call him Dickerson multiple times? I don't know. All I know is that, Amori Armas is still here. I like the look of him. He's got good power. He's a well-rounded prospect here. I'm going to take another shot on him. If that potential's anywhere close to that upper range, guys, at pick 122 in the fourth round, I'm going to be very, very happy with that. But the third baseman, Amori Armas, welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Our next pick is pick 152. This is our penultimate pick. There's Monty McClure, who's got high potential, but low overall. We have him ranked 85th on the board. This is where we start to run out of some of those really good prospects or really people that we've scouted a lot of. So I might just trust this next pick. Go back to the well, a pitcher, three pitchers, three fielders, 20 years old as well, high potential, low overall, but could be somebody that in his mid-20s, we see him and he becomes a stud. So Monty McClure, welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Right-handed pitcher as well. So we are acquiring quite a few righties, but I'm not too worried about the righty-lefty split, especially in the simulation. And our final pick here, we have just a minute to take it. There is Fernando Cabrera. We already did take a catcher this draft. There's the first baseman, Geraldo Quinones. Could be really, really low overall, but we really have not scouted anybody else. This center fielder doesn't look to be much of anything. Ray Enriquez here as well. These guys are pretty much interchangeable. Higher for Ray Enriquez. Yeah, Ray Enriquez looks like a better contact and discipline. Better fielder out of Geraldo Quinones, but he's a first baseman, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to take Ray Enriquez here. Welcome to the Kansas City Royals. Ray Enriquez. There we go. Believe we had a good mix of prospects and starting pitchers. I think we went 3-3, 4-3 maybe, 4-4. I think we went 3-3. I don't exactly remember. But the trade block, Tariq Skubal is on the trade block as well, so that could be a starting pitcher to go after. What would we have to give up? I'm not sure. We could give up Brandon Drury plus. I don't think I want to give up Mitchell or Furman. Although Blake Mitchell is he's better than Salvador Perez at this point. Maybe Salvador Perez, we should move on from him. But Nick Prado, I mean, what could we even give up here? Bobby Witt? No, they're interested. Wow, they're barely interested in that too. Wow, Garrett Hampson moves it a ton. I guess they are seeking first, second, and third, and catcher. Third, we got Michael Garcia here, but he is growing nicely. Nate Eaton, he moves it a good amount. Brandon Drury moves it a little bit. Adam Frazier, Nolan Gorman. Yeah, wow. Nick Prado, Vinny Pasquantino. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Skubal, but hey, it's on the block, and you guys can let me know if you think it's a good idea or not. I think it might be a bit rich for my blood. Casey Mize, 27-78. I mean, Chris Sale, he's too old, but Casey Mize, he's pitching well, too, is the fun part. Is 409, 128, it's not even bad. The WAR's not good. The ERCs could be better, but again, we tried that last season around this time, acquiring a player who's in, got that A potential, a little bit, his mid-20s. We'll see, but obviously we need to sign our draft picks. Julio Villalobos is the prize from the draft, but that is going to be in the next episode, guys. We'll get the second half of the season done, find out what our prospects look like, and hopefully we have some future generational studs on our hands, guys. But that's all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all.